Namaste.
Good morning. Namaste.
So today is a continuation of yesterday's book, that is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Very, very informative and is very relevant. In fact, after having read so much, it's very, very relevant to all ages. Like how we say that the world is dynamic. But let me tell you, this is a book that was written long time back, and how it has relevance even in the current times is not funny. Is not funny at all. So let me just quickly deep dive into the book. Yesterday we ended, just a sec, I'll just share my screen here. Okay. Yesterday we ended with on this topic, that is, let me put all of my windows up, sorry. I can see. Okay. So yesterday we ended with the history of taxes and the power of corporation. I'll just revise through so that we get the link. My rich dad just played the game smart, and he did it through corporations, the biggest secret of the rich. In this chapter, Robert explains the lesson using the story of Robin Hood, who had robbed money from the rich and distributed it amongst the poor people. We often hear people saying that why don't rich people pay more taxes and give that money to the poor? But the reality is that rich people pay negligible taxes also. When the government says that they will apply more taxes to the rich, they apply to the upper educated middle class people like lawyers, accountants, etc. But rich people are never taxed because they play games smartly, like my rich dad. Does this resonate with everybody? The government says that when you had more, like when they say note bandi, all the educated upper middle class, everybody went and surrendered all the money. But all the rich people, they had ways of investing that money. They found corporations, okay, they found good solicitors, and they found good investment people, and they invested all those money. And in the note bandi that came out, very less money came out of from the note bandi during the for the rich people, whereas the upper middle class were the people who gave away maximum money. This is again what the rich dad, poor dad differentiates between the rich and the poor. Okay, the rich people always look for legal loopholes to avoid paying taxes, put more money into their pockets. That's why they often hire the smartest accountant and attorneys. See that? We also get to see different perspectives in thinking of both the rich dad and the poor dad. For example, the poor dad thinks that the rich are greedy crooks. The rich dad thinks the governments are lazy thieves. Poor dad says climb the corporate ladder, whereas rich dad says own the corporate ladder. Further, Robert explains that poor people first earn money, then they pay tax, and then they spend, But the difference between the rich is that the rich people or the business owners, first they earn money, then they spend all the money, and then whatever is left over, they pay taxes out of that. Okay, so yesterday we had completed up to here. Now today I go to the next topic. Now the next topic says the rich invest money. Now what is this? Often in the real world, it's not the smart who get ahead, but the bold. You remember yesterday, we saw that there are two emotions that drive people is fear and greed. Okay. So now what he says is that often in the real world, it's not the smart people who get ahead, but the bold. In this chapter, Robert clears many myths of people like we often hear: work hard, earn money, and then save money to be rich. What do we hear? I'll repeat once again. We often hear that work hard, earn money, and then save money to be rich. But the real rich people never do this. Never ever. What do? They put the money into work to earn more money. Then we need to understand that when we save money, we are even taxed on the saved money, isn't it? We talk about now taxes, even on your dividends, you're getting taxed. Even on your fixed deposit interest, you're getting taxed, which already decreases our profit margin. So how are we saving money? How foolish are we, aren't we? So let me read this again. In this chapter, Robert clears many myths of people like we often hear, that is work hard, earn money and then save money to be rich. But rich people never do this. They put their money into the work to earn more money. And we need to understand that when we save money, we are even taxed on our saved money, which decreases our profit. So we all need to change these average mind strategies and start developing our financial intelligence. We should learn to identify great opportunities and work on our own greatest asset. That is, what is our greatest asset? The mind. We need to start working our own mind with our own mind, and hence it is rewire your brain. The biggest asset that we have with us is the mind, and we need to start working on it, he says. The single most powerful asset we all have is our mind. If it is trained well, it can create enormous wealth. If your mind is trained well, your mind can create enormous wealth. Robert Kiyosaki shares, most people never win because they are more afraid of losing. How true? Yeah. Again, most people never win because they are more afraid of losing. That is why I found school so silly. He says, that is why I found school so silly. In school, we learn that mistakes are bad. And we are punished for making mistakes. But if you look the way humans are designed to learn, we learn by making mistakes only. All human beings learn from making mistakes. We learn to walk by falling. Okay. If we never fell, we never walk. Children, when a child is born, how does a child learn to walk? By falling million times. But our schooling system is such, the schooling system always says that, oh no, you have to be perfect, you shouldn't be making mistakes. Only when you're perfect, you become the head boy, you become the head girl, you become the monitor of the school. We never consider that a person who falls, who makes mistakes every time, is going to be the winner, because the person or the child is always learning from their own mistake. Yeah. So this is what he goes to say. Next, he says, we should remember that people who avoid failures also avoid success. Very important. See, every word that he speaks is so meaningful and so important. He says that we should remember that people who avoid failures also avoid success. Fear of losing in people never lets people become rich. One important lesson that Robert mentions in this chapter is that qualities of a good investor. What's the qualities of a good investor? Is that number one, a good investor searches for opportunities that are missed by most people. That's why they have, a rich person always has, will never invest on his own. He will invest to somebody else's knowledge, would invest in knowledge. A rich person would invest in knowledge, and that knowledge which is given by the other person, they listen to it, because the knowledge, the other person, they know the loopholes of investment. Okay. So a good investment searches for opportunities that are missed by most people. We know how to raise capital. He knows how to raise capital outside the bank. You need to know how to raise. For us poor people, we raise capital inside the bank. We put in money in fixed deposit. We'll put in money in that gold ball, in some funds in the bank. But the rich people, they know how to raise capital outside the bank. Okay. He has the ability to organize smart people and hire people smarter than him. Today, you see Dhirubhai Ambani. Dhirubhai Ambani, what is his education status? And imagine the people that he has hired in his company, the CEOs of his companies. The same thing with Tata's. You see, any good conglomerate, a business house will hire people who are much more smarter than them. Today, my company also here, my boss is in America. My boss doesn't care a diamond dozen. He has put leads. He has got the best resource from the world, and he has put them in the verticals. And these verticals are all self-driven verticals, because he doesn't want to make a mistake. So he's paying through his nose, but he's ensured that when he gets people smarter than him, they are really going to give him results. So this is what we need to learn from great businessmen. Now, often in the real world, it's not the smart who get ahead, but the bold. B-O-L-D, bold. Please get this right. Often the real world, it's not the smart people who get ahead, but the bold. Yeah, bold with a capital B. Next, work to learn. Don't work for money. Job security meant everything to my educated dad. Learning meant everything to my rich dad. Please see this difference. Robert had an interview with a journalist. While talking to her, he understood that she was striving to become the best-selling author. She tried to be, but no one was interested. He advised her that she should take a salesperson course. Okay. She took that to her ego. Oh my God, I am a journalist. How can you ask me to take up a sales best-selling? I mean, I want to become a best-selling author. How can you ask me to take up a salesperson course? Okay. So she took that on to her ego and replied in an angry tone. I have a master's degree in English literature. Why would I go to school to learn to be a salesperson? Okay. I hate salespeople. All that they want is money, money, and money. Okay. So she was in a very angry tone. She said these words. Now, he further explained that he's a best-selling author. He told her his own experience that he's a best-selling author and not the best writing author. As she pointed, what did she say? She said, I am a journalist. I'm becoming a best-selling author. Okay, so he already said that he further explained that he's a best-selling author, not the best writing author, by pointing her. You know, there are many great lawyers, doctors, dentists, and all these people still struggle financially. Now, when Robert resigned from his high-paying job, he had a very emotional conversation with his poor dad. Okay, here also I would like to draw some differences in belief system of the rich and the poor dad. When he gave up his high paying job, his poor dad said value job security, whereas the rich dad said value learning. The poor dad said he assumed that Robert went to school to learn to be a ship's officer, and the rich dad said he knew that Robert went to school to learn international trade. Can you see this difference in the mindset of the rich dad and the poor dad? Very, very important. Very, very important. The mind is the biggest tool. If you can really rewire this mind and work with your mind, what you can achieve is much more. Let us see in the further chapter where Robert says that there is gold mine everywhere, but we forget to recognize this gold mine. And this is what differentiates us from the poor and the rich. Let's go ahead and see it. Is it interesting till now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Okay. So now see how beautiful he says. Job is an acronym for just over broke. We all have great salary paying jobs, and we are investing all our money in buying luxury. And again, by the end of the month, we are just broke. We are again waiting for the next salary to come, isn't it? Tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah. We are waiting for the next month. Wow. First, when is it going to be first? For some, it's going to be fifth. For some, it's going to be seventh. For some, it's going to be
Best.
10th. Yeah.
Yeah. Best message. Salary credited.
Yes. Best message, salary credited. The morning you want to look at your phone. Oh, wow. Salary credited. Chalo. Come on. Let's pay our bills. Let's do this. Let's do that. Already so many, so many plans are made. So the job is an acronym for just over broke. Yeah. Next. How beautiful it is. You know, I feel so excited when I see such posters. I laugh at my own self. I really laugh at my own self. Now, Robert also wants us to change our perspective regarding job applications. He says we just take jobs where we can learn new skills instead of where we can get paid more. Okay, we should. Now we should, our job application, we always, when we apply a job, we look at only the salary package. We don't look at where we are going to learn more. This is something I can vouch for. I have really never looked at the salary, but I have learned that where I can really learn more. I see foolish people, there are very foolish people. When I recruit people, they say, "Aap kitna salary doge?" I said, kitna salary doge? Matlab, I said, I tell them, why are you so hell-bent on the Sunday? We have to pay bills. That's why we are looking at the salary. But I always tell them that don't look at the salary. See in this job, how much are you going to learn in this job? With this experience, you can take yourself to 10x growth. You may get paid less, but if your learning is more, the jump, then your next jump that you're going to make after 3 to 5 years is going to be an exponential jump. So don't always look at the pay package. You also need to learn. You also need to look at what are you going to learn while being in the job. And when we want to earn more money, we should take a second job where we can learn the second skill.
Which will help us propel, not only
Yes, it
jump,
should
it will
help
be a
us propel.
propel.
Exactly. The job should be a stepping stone to your next job. It should help you propel. Take the next jump. You should be able to just leap, just go zoom to the next job, you know. So what is the management skills? Now see here also he says you need to take a second job where we can learn the second skill. Now management skills needed for success are cash flow management. Very important to learn cash flow management, systems management, okay, and ability to handle people. If you know these three, then according to Robert, you can become a good businessman. The most important specialized skills are sales and marketing, over and above cash flow, over and above systems management, over and above handling people is sales and marketing. Okay. Next. Overcoming obstacles. 5 main reasons, even when you are financially literate, but you may still fail in becoming financially free. The first obstacle, I have combined 2 to 3 obstacles, okay, to make it short. The first obstacle is fear, okay. No one in this world will ever like to lose money. Robert says that he never met a single rich person who had never lost money. Please see this. Robert says that he never met a single rich person who had never lost money, but we always fear to lose money. But he had met many poor people who never lost a single penny, and we take so much of pride in saying, oh, I never lost a single penny. My investments have been so good that I have not lost any money. Whereas the rich people, they always take risk. The opposite of fear is a risk-taking appetite. The rich people have a risk-taking appetite. They don't fear losing money. They say, koi baat nahi. If I lose money here, I'm going to make money somewhere else. I take this learning to somewhere else and I shall make money somewhere else. No problem. Let me just get rid of it. So many times we see our fixed deposits giving us meager interest. Bank interest keeps fluctuating. And then you are also charged on that interest when you go to redeem it. Okay. You're charged on your bond, long-term capital gain, short-term capital gain. But still we want to keep our money in that because of the fear of losing. Oh no, I don't want to lose this money, you know. But then the rich will say, no problem, the bank is not giving me interest, let me remove this FD, let me go and buy an asset, let me just go and invest it in a bond or something else, let me just go and buy an asset. So this is the difference that he says between the poor dad and the rich dad. Okay, so their risk is required to be rich. So if you hate risk and worry, you need to start building an asset column early to become rich. So if you want to build up your asset column, you need to give up fear. You need to have a risk-taking appetite. That's what he says. There is so much difference in a person who starts investing. There is so much difference in a person who starts investing or building asset columns at the age of 20 and 30. If you learn to take risks at a younger age, easier it becomes for you to be rich. The primary difference between a rich person and a poor person is how they manage their fear. Okay. See, the moment you come into your middle age and you come into your 50s and 60s, then you don't want to take risk, you know. Then you would want to you will learn to manage your fears that, oh no, that one told me this one told me this, and hence I'm taking this decision, you know. So we want to play safe. But this is what Robert says, that you can't be playing safe. You just can't be playing safe if you want to become rich. Okay. Now, for most people, the fear of losing money is more than the joy of becoming rich. See, what a beautiful statement. For most people, the fear of losing money is more than the joy of becoming rich. Also, the fear changes the attitude of both personalities. For example, failure inspires winners and failure defeats losers. Again, failure inspires winners. A winner would say, oh, I have failed, not a problem. Let me bounce back. Today's energetic song that was played by Satya sir, that I will rise up again. No problem, I will rise up again, but let me take this risk. If you don't take this risk, you won't fall. If you don't fall, you won't fail. If you don't fail, you won't win. Okay, and failures defeat losers. Another way to overcome fear is to play safe. We have to make a balanced investment. Next, the primary difference between a rich person and a poor person is how to manage fear, Robert says. In bold, I have put it here for you all. This is what it is. Okay, this should be the writing on the wall so that tomorrow you improve on your risk-taking appetite. Next, what first was fear? Then he says cynicism. What is cynicism? We often allow others to shake our decision regarding investments. Okay. Robert shared an example of his friend. His friend was about to buy a condo. Condo is a small apartment. In India, a condo would be like a 1 BHK, a 1 BHK with an attached kitchen and toilet. Okay. So his friend wanted to buy a condo, but at the last minute, he dropped the idea because his neighbor told him that it was not a great deal. Who told him? His neighbor told him. Okay. His neighbor told him it was not a great deal. Okay. Interesting thing was that the neighbor also had no prior experience of investment. I mean, whom are you listening to? At least when you listen to people who have prior experience in whatever field, ज्ञान देने में लोग बहुत माहिर है, बहुत माहिर है. राम सिंह जी लोग ज्ञान देने में है कि नहीं? But that gyan should be that even you should be in the same boat when you're giving that gyan. When you yourself don't have that experience, how can you share your knowledge with others? So he didn't take up that condo because he heard the neighbor. The neighbor told him, no, it's not a great deal. Don't take it. If he had stayed in that deal, he would have doubled his investments, but he lost the chance. So people from every walks of life create self-doubt in ourselves. We always have that self-doubt, that no, I don't know, so let me hear it from somebody. They create a self-doubt in yourself, and we often allow them to create and keep ourselves from grabbing great opportunities. We are seeing the opportunity, our gut feeling says, oh no, that is a wonderful opportunity, take it. But there'll be people to pull you back. How you have the frogs in the well. There is one frog who wants to come out of the well. The frogs in the well don't want him to come out. And there is only one frog who comes out of the well. And who is that one frog who comes out of the well? Is the frog who is deaf. The frog who is deaf. So this is all, we all love to be the frog in the well. We don't want to be the ones who want to come up because we fear risk. We fear taking that risk of jumping out of the well. First of all, log kya bolenge? Secondly, what if I lose? We fear, what if I lose? We don't want to get out of our comfort zone. So
Comfort zone.
He says that we often allow them to create and keep ourselves from grabbing great opportunities. Doubts and cynicism. Okay, so doubt was also another point that he raised. Doubts and cynicism keep most people poor. Rich dad likes to say, cynics criticize. See this, cynics will always criticize and winners will always analyze. Write it on the wall once again. Cynics will always criticize. It's your choice. Would you want to go with the cynics, or you would want to go with your own self-doubt, or you would want to take the risk and go ahead, analyze the situation and become a winner. Okay. Now, next he says is laziness. That is procrastination that we say in RYB, laziness. I will come directly to the answer of overcoming laziness. That is a little greed. He says that we need to have a little greed in life. Okay. Now, why he says that? Let us see. We always say that greed is bad. Greed is bad. Lo, mo, sab chodo, greed is bad. But Robert Kiyosaki says that a little greed is good. Now, let us see what does he say. It may sound hard to believe that a little greed can be the cure to laziness. With greed, we have a desire. With greed, we have a desire. For example, the world progresses because someone desired a better world. The world has new inventions because we desired something better. What do they say? We need to change our wordings also. For example, saying, I can't afford it, we should say how I can afford it, because it opens your mind to seek more innovative ways to find solutions to your financial problems. Rather than saying, I can't afford it and just sitting behind it and looking, I want to buy a good dress. I see the dress in the display window of the shop. And I keep looking at it. Oh no, I can't afford it. Oh no, I can't afford it. What a poor mindset I have. But the moment I rewire my brain and I change my language, that how can I work hard What do I do to get that dress? That is the mindset. If we change that, what best can we do to get what we desire, to get that greed, So he says, he very rightly says that today the world has become a better place because someone desired a better world. Okay, and new inventions are coming up today. From a laptop you've come to a palm top, from a palm top you've come, from buttons you've come to finger, from your fingerprint, from your fingerprint impression you've come to eye retina. So see how the world is changing. Why? Because everybody desires better, so hence new inventions are coming in. So necessity is the mother of invention, and if necessity is the mother of invention, when you have new inventions you have more progress, and when you have more progress you will be called the you're going to be a part of that gig economy. So he says that little greed is very, very important to get rid of your financial problems. Next, bad habits. Whatever we are today is a reflection of our habits. Would you agree? Now, so many of us, we had joined RYB. Now you see the strength of RYB. What is it? So, and there's so much of learning here on this platform. So whatever we are today is a reflection of our habits. We take actions today and build the same future that our actions say. People struggle financially due to their bad habits, and often they blame others for their condition. That no, hamara boss, yeah, boss itself was like this, the company was like this, the weather was like this, so that's why I couldn't get up. It was raining, so I thought I'll sleep a little later. I slept very late in the night. I had meetings in the night, so I couldn't wake up in the morning. We can have umpteen number of blaming, but ultimately, what is it? You are blaming your own self. You are losing out on your own time. So that is what is a bad habit. So whatever we are today is a result of our habits, a reflection of our habits. Robert says before paying bills and taxes, we need to pay ourselves. See this? He very clearly says that before you pay bills and you pay taxes, please pay yourself, because if we pay ourselves, at last we will have nothing left over. Okay. But if we pay ourselves first, we get financially stronger. So this bad habit, please get rid of bad habits. Please get rid of procrastination. Please get rid of fear. Please be bold according to him. Okay. And please get rid of self-doubt. Believe in your own self. Believe in your own gut, your gut feeling. Okay. So only if you have all of this, you get, when you pay yourself all of these, you become stronger. You become financially stronger. Next, he says that arrogance, that is half knowledge. They say half knowledge. Sorry, arrogance is not half knowledge. I'm so sorry. Yeah, arrogance. Now let us see about arrogance, what it is. Robert explains that his rich dad used to say that every time he had been arrogant, he had lost money, because he assumed that things that he doesn't know were not important. See this. That is half knowledge. Half knowledge is bad. As you say, half knowledge is more detrimental. So what did Robert's dad, what did he say? That is a rich dad. Robert's rich dad said that every time he had been arrogant, he had lost money because he assumed that things he didn't know were not important. What I know makes me money, but what I don't know loses my money. How simple. What I know makes me money. What I don't know loses me money. Okay, that instead of putting money in your pocket, if you don't know the right tricks, your money is going to go out of your pocket. Your asset column is going to become less, your liability column will go up. Clear? Whenever you are ignorant about a subject or a topic, you need to start educating yourself by either finding an expert in the field or reading a book on that subject. Very important. If you take medicines without consulting the doctor, it will certainly have some of the other side effect, because you are just taking it temporarily, for temporary relief, but a long-term detrimental effect will lead to something else, which at that point of time will not be cured. Are you all with me on this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Very nice.
Okay. Fine. So that is, you all are in sync with Robert Kiyosaki, what he has to say, that arrogance, bad habits, self-doubt, fear, not being bold, all of this are detrimental for us to become financially independent and to become rich and not to remain poor. Okay. Next. Whatever you are today is a reflection of your habits. Robert Kiyosaki says so. Now, he says, getting started. How do we get started? Okay, he has a beautiful story over here. Robert once asked a gold miner how he was so confident about finding the gold mine. Okay, the gold miner said, there is gold everywhere, but most people are not trained to see it. What did the gold mine tell him? The gold mine told him that there is the gold miner told him that there is gold everywhere, but people can't see it. So now here Robert gives 10 steps to develop good God-given powers. He says there are God-given powers in us human beings. We ourselves are the gold mine, but we don't recognize our own capabilities. Swami Vivekananda also said that child, the power lies in you. You look for power here and there, but the actual power lies in you. And if you can work on your own parts, if you can realize your own parts, you will see that the world is going to be with you. You will be walking ahead of the world. This is what Swami Vivekananda also had told us so many years back. So here Robert also gives us 10 steps to develop our God-given powers. Now, what are these? Okay, he says, find a reason greater than reality, the power of the spirit. Find reasons greater than reality, the power of the spirit. What is it? Whenever we ask people, whenever we ask people, would they like to be, this is a mistake I've made here, would they like to be rich? They would say yes, but then they come to know about works that need to be done. Everyone changes their mood because they didn't have a strong reason to be rich. Okay. You know, many a times you will see people, they shrug their work. But let me tell you, the Tatas, the Birlas, the Ambanis, now the Adanis, all of these people, they are working 24/7. What are they working? Their mind is ticking 24/7. They never say, now I want to go to sleep. Now is my time to go to sleep. Now is my time to wake up. Okay. Whereas whenever the normal poor man is faced with challenges, he said, oh no, I don't, this work is, there's too much of work in this job. Let me go and look for another job, which is easy. Okay, so this is what it is. He says that find a greater reason than reality, the power of the spirit. Next, make daily choices, the power of choice. The power which God has given us, these are God-given power. The power of choice depends on us, whether you want to get up in the morning and you want to have a good book reading session by Dr. Sagarika, or you choose to sleep on a Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning. Choice is yours, absolutely. Yeah. So financially, with every dollar we receive, we choose whether we become rich or poor or middle class. Whatever amount of money we spend and where we spend reflects who we are. Becoming a rich person is a choice, and the same applies to the people also. It depends. You are earning X amount today. Now with that salary credited in our account every month, where are we investing the money? What are we doing out of the money? Where are we spending? Even a rupee is going to decide whether we remain in middle class or we remain poor or we become rich. It decides, and the power of choice is ours. Next, choose your friends carefully, the power of association. Very important. Power of association. Okay, that is, never choose friends based on their financial statements. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. Choose friends who often talk about money and are interested in the subject. Learn for both kinds of people, rich or poor. Rich enables to do what to do, and poor gives us lessons of what not to do. See how beautifully he's found this out, that your association with rich people, if you are with rich people, they will help you to do what to do. And if you, in your company, you must also have a few poor and mediocre people. What will happen, that if you have them, they will also tell you what not to do, which is also important. You need to learn lessons. So he says that kind of people that you associate with also makes you what you are going to be in your future. That is the walking the talk. You will start talking the same language as your friends. So have your friends, the power of association. That's also God given, depends on you whom you want to befriend, totally depends on you. Next, master a formula that you can learn a new one, the power of learning quickly. Okay, that is, carefully choose what you need to study. Also, whatever you study, you become that person's reflection. Like if you read a story like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, okay, you are reflecting now. Everybody's in the reflective mode. Am I right? Tell me. If all of you all are thinking about, oh, where am I putting my money? What have I done? I've made this mistake. I should have done this. I should have got my asset up. I should have got my liabilities down. Since yesterday, how many of you all are thinking? Tell me. Let's be true.
Almost
Yeah,
everyone.
Everybody's thinking, right?
Yes.
That's what. So that is
Yes,
what
madam.
you
Yes,
need
madam.
to- yeah, so that is what you need to carefully choose what you're studying, what you're giving your time to, because you become that person's reflection. Today, we all are putting ourselves in Robert Kiyosaki's shoes. And since yesterday, we put in our thinking caps and we're thinking, how can we become more rich? Okay, what are the mistakes we are making? Now, we all learn the dumbest and the basic formula for money in school, that work for money. In school, we always are taught work for money. You know, in today's world, that matters most is how fast you learn, because it is changing so fast. Today, what did Satyaji say? Satyaji, can you please repeat? He said that we were in a VUCA world in 2022, and today we are in which world, Satyaji?
BANI.
Exactly.
World.
Yeah. We are in a panny world. Yeah. So because it is changing so fast, so if you learn taking more time, your lessons, that you may turn out to be old. If you don't take the right lessons, you will be old, you'll be passé, you'll be gone, finished, out of the market. You're stinking because you're stale. You're stinking because you're stale. You've not upskilled yourself. You've not developed yourself to suit yourself to the new world. You are still living in that old age. And your thought process are that old thought process. You have to constantly change because the world is changing so fast, a dynamic world. Pay yourself first. The power of self-discipline, very important, friends. The power of self-discipline. If you want to be rich, you have to take full control of yourself. If you want to buy a new car or something like that, immediately when you get to raise, you lack self-discipline. See, here he says, if my paycheck is good, wow, this month I'm going to get my Diwali bonus next month. How good. Next month, in the end of the month, I'm going to get my Diwali bonus. What am I going to do out of the Diwali bonus? Maybe I'll buy a new car. Yeah. So this is what he says. If you buy a new car or something like that, immediately, okay, we don't think immediately. When you get a raise in your salary, what is it? You lack self-discipline, he says. But that is what most of us are doing. We wait for such bonus, a good Diwali bonus, a good pay hike, and our next plan is already ready. Yeah, and I'm really laughing at this because I'm laughing at my own self. It so resonates with me. But he says that you lack self-discipline if this is the kind of way of life that you are leading. Okay, next. Pay your brokers well. The power of good advice. Again, he says the power of good advice. Okay, so pay professionals well and have expensive attorneys, accountants, real estate brokers, and stockbrokers, because their services would directly make you money. If these professionals make more, they will also make more money for you. You know what happens? Our mindset is a fixed mindset. It's not a growth mindset. We feel when we are appointing lawyers, or when we are appointing CAs, when we appoint CAs, oh no, this CA is too expensive, he charges too much of money. But we don't realize that if this CA is making money from us, he is also going to make money for us, because he will get us loopholes. Where can we invest our money? Where can we save our taxes? See, our growth mindset doesn't permit us to do that. We don't want to shell out money for others. That all that money we want to keep hoard for ourselves, and we don't realize that we foolish poor people, we hoard money for ourselves. In the bargain, you are losing money there because you're paying more taxes. So how penny wise pound foolish are we? Isn't it? We are so penny wise pound foolish. Whereas Robert Kiyosaki says that if you hire expensive attorneys, if you hire expensive lawyers, if you hire expensive accountants, if you have a case and if you hire an expensive lawyer, he will get your case done within no time. He will charge more money, but you will be rid. So if you have to get money out of your ex party, you will get the money rather than waiting for 10 years and fighting the case in the court. How smart is that of us, and how smart is it of Robert Kiyosaki? Now tell me. So if these professionals make more money, they will also make you more money. Very important. Have a board of directors because it is essential for you to have people working for you who are smarter than you. This is what he says. This is the power of good advice. He's giving you an advice. And what is this? This is nothing but collaboration. He talks about collaboration. What we talk right now about collaboration is that let's collaborate with people with think tanks. That is, when you collaborate with think tanks, you have your board of directors, and your board of directors will drive your company. And you see the same thing with the Tatas, with the Birlas, with the Ambanis, with the Adanis. Everybody, they all have a very strong board of director, and they are the decision makers for their company, and they are much more smarter than the owner themselves. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So, failure inspires winners, failure defeats losers, Robert says. Okay, failure inspires winners. If you're a winner, you will be inspired. Okay, no problem. I failed. I will again tomorrow. I will rise, but I learned a lesson. But then, if for losers, oh no, I lost so much of money. Mera itna crore chala gaya, itna rupya chala gaya. What do I do? So losers, failure defeats losers, and failure inspires winners. Next. He uses this word Indian giver. I was very intrigued into this. Why did he say be an Indian giver? The power of getting something for nothing. Okay. Now, the sophisticated investors' first question of sophisticated investors is, how fast do I get my money back? You know, so I think he has seen this, he has understood the Indian mindset, and he has written, be an Indian giver, the power of getting something for nothing. The sophisticated investors' first question is, how fast do I get my money back? They also want to know what they get for free. Okay, we love freebies, ek pe ek free, also called a piece of action. That is why the ROI, that is the return on investment, is so important. Okay. Next question, he says, Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, sold hamburger franchises. He didn't love hamburgers, but instead he wanted to acquire real estate under the franchisee for free. Can you see this? If he would have started franchisees, he would have got some free, in the bargain of having franchisee, he would have got some free land. So he didn't like hamburgers, but his interest was in getting the free land, as a result of which he started the franchisee. So see this, learn lessons from this also. Okay. Now use assets to buy luxuries. The power of focus. Use your assets. Don't use your salary to buy luxuries. Use your passive income. In the previous chapter, he very clearly told us that use your passive income to buy your luxuries, not your salary, not your main source to buy luxury. That is the power of focus. Okay. Next, a father wanted to teach his child how to make money. His son had been asking for a car, but he didn't want him spending his college money on it. Okay. His father gave him $3,000 that the son could buy a car, a vehicle directly. Okay, so he couldn't use the cash to buy a car. The son was saving his own money to buy a car. So the father said, okay, you don't use your own money, let me give you $3,000 to buy a car. Now his son started learning how to invest in stocks. He read every book. He read Wall Street journals. He even went through a loss of $2,000 in the stock market, but he had found something more interesting than a car. Can you see how the father diverted the thought process of the child? The child wanted to buy a car. The father said, instead of spending your own money to buy a car, you take $3,000 from me and now invest it, learn investment. In that investment, the son lost $2,000. But in the bargain, he went through Wall Street journals. He read a lot of book on investment, and he also read about stock market. So he found it, he got that interest, and he got the interest of getting into stock market investment rather than buying a car, which is a dead investment, which is gets your liability column low, doesn't get your asset column high. So this is how the father rewired the son's mind. Now, next. Don't buy luxuries with liabilities like a credit card. Instead, you should buy them from your own asset column. Can you see that? Okay, even making money principles may seem easy in theory, but still it is hard to make. See, we can read a lot of theory, but only when you listen, when you read books, when you listen to people with experience, you realize that it is still hard to make. For example, if 100 people are given $10,000 at the beginning of the year, by the end 80 would have spent it all, okay, into debt. 16 would have increased the amount by 5 to 10%, but only those 4 would have neither doubled it or grew it, would have either doubled it or grew it into millions. So can you see that out of 100 people, only 4 people, he says, would have actually doubled the money given or would have grown that money into millions. Why? Because we don't have the mindset. He says most of the people, if given $10,000, would have 80% would have finished it, done. I got 10,000 in my pocket. How that, people go for Amitabh Bachchan show, Karodpati show. They look forward to that money for what? To buy the luxuries. Yeah. So 80% have already ideas to spend. 16 would have increased the amount up to 5 to 10%. Okay. But only 4 would have doubled or grew that into millions. Now you see his calculations, how he says it. Next, choose your heroes wisely, the power of myth. Robert Kiyosaki's heroes, who are his heroes? Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, and George Soros, etc. When Robert Kiyosaki analyzes a deal, he tries to look at the same way Warren Buffett would. This strategy helps him tap into raw genius. Okay. When you can't take a decision, get a mentor who will get you a decision. Okay. Teach and you shall receive the power of giving. It's so important that we share our knowledge. When we share our knowledge, when we give our knowledge, we are also receiving. We are also receiving over there, because it's a very good strategy. That is, when you speak, when you research, you are also learning more in the bargain. Now, Robert's rich dad taught him to be charitable. His poor dad taught him to give away his time and knowledge, but not money. See, this is also again a very big, very big learning for me. I always thought that let me give away my knowledge. I say I want to die empty. But here Robert Kiyosaki says that the poor dad always taught the child that give away your knowledge, give away your time. But the poor dad said, give away money in charity. If you don't give away money in charity, you will lose that money. You will lose that money. So the rich dad says, if you want something, you first need to give. And if you want to earn money, you need to give money. See this. This is what even Chauhanji tells us. Don't we resonate with the same, that if you want money, you need to first give money. So charity has to be in the form of money and not in the form of knowledge at all. Yeah. So this is also another learning. Shop for bargains in all market. Remember, profits are made in buying, not in selling. If you really feel that something they're giving you 1 + 1 free when you're shopping for bargains in the market, let me tell you, nothing comes for free. Nothing ever comes for free. It must be either an old stock, or it must be a stock in 1 month's time, which is going to hit its expiry date. Okay, so he very clearly says that remember, profits are made in buying, not in selling. So the person who's selling you is not making a profit by giving you this. You are thinking that you are making a profit while buying it. Okay, look in the right places. Poor people buy through real estate agents, while Robert used to buy at the foreclosure auction. He never used real estate agents. He used auctions. And in auctions, what happens when you bid in auctions, when things go for, you have very good sales that go in auction. You know, I'll tell you, even I don't know about the other cities, but it is there that all the State Bank of India, IDBI, ICICI Bank, you know, they have a lot of property. They have LIC. LIC also has a lot of property. They sell these properties in auction. And, you know, there are these big conglomerates who go and buy in these auctions. They buy acres and acres of land in auctions from these banks. And what do we poor people do? Look for an estate agent and buy the property and pay that estate agent also. We pay money and we buy also the property. Imagine our mindset. This is what the mindset is. So he really says that look in the right places. Look for people who want to buy first, then look for someone who wants to sell. Okay, when buying property, find a seller first, Then find a person who's looking to sell their property and buy through them. You buy through them. When you look at people who are selling, like these auctioneers, that is, you have so many of them who go for what do you say, they are called they are called, like today if I want to shift to US, and I just want to sell my flat. So when I want to sell my flat, I go for an auction. I go for an auction, and in that auction, if you buy it, you get the flat much cheaper than what would you buy another flat through a broker who would go and look for a flat. So always look for a person who's ready to sell the flat, and then you go and you buy it from that person directly. Fine. So nowadays you have so many apps where you can find out where people are selling flats, and you just go and buy directly. Okay. Now learn from history. All the big companies started as small companies. Okay. You have to start small, only then you can grow. So you start small and then you grow. Action always beats inaction. It is better to take an action rather than not taking an action. Always take an action. Before earning financial rewards, we must take actions. Okay. Now, those sales that I was talking to you about, people selling their flats, and they are called distress sales. So in a paper, in Times of India, in good papers, you have a complete column of distress sale. Always look at the column of distress sale. People who have distress sale, you don't need to go to any real estate agent. You go to the distress sales person's number. You directly go and buy a good flat at a distress sale, and you see you get a good property for peanuts. But this is what our poor dad doesn't tell us. Our poor dad tells us that go through a real estate agent, don't go through such thing. But I tell you, distress sales always get you better properties than what your broker would get you. Next. Mind is the most powerful asset we can have. If it is trained well, it can generate enormous wealth. It is only a mind shift, a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. The poor dad has a fixed mindset. The rich dad has a growth mindset. So the moment you shift your mind, the moment you shift your thought process, you are here to generate enormous wealth. This is what Robert Kiyosaki says. Clear. Next, there's a case study, and with this case study we end. It is 8:10 already. Shall I do the case study today or tomorrow, Brahmanji? It's a very small case study.
I think today Saturday you can go ahead, madam. I think that's what my opinion.
Fine. Okay. Anybody else? Shall I continue, or shall I just finish it next time?
Maybe next time.
Next time, okay, yeah, because people have to go. Okay, so we'll do it next time. So done. Okay, we'll do it next time. No worries. Yeah.
It was an excellent session, madam. The way you present also, it's very good. The quotations you have created, no, that is much more impressive. One thing, and you change your tone of voice. Voice modulation. That's also very important, and it was fantastic. Very nicely you presented.
Yeah.
So if I read I wouldn't have catch so much of points the way you are presented.
Yeah. If you read the book, actually, then there's a lot of other knowledge also. So a book reading is always very good, and we'll discuss this later. So thank you very much, everybody, for giving me this opportunity. Gratitude to RYB, and we will, whenever I get the next chance, there is one case study that I need to discuss, and that is the end of the book. That is it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But there's so many questions that are coming in the mind, so that we can discuss that after the case study.
Yeah, you put it down, and the discussion is not going to be with me. The discussion is going to be with the whole group. We all will discuss with our respective experiences that we have, so that the output is more. Okay, so please park your questions, write them down in a book, and we'll discuss it. In the last session that we have, we'll have this case study, and we'll discuss all the questions that everybody has, and we'll answer together. Collaborative response.
Okay,
thank you.
The controversial book is still the question mark right now.
The controversy, should you go to school or shouldn't you go to school? I'm a school teacher.
Madam, coming Wednesday, full session you can take, coming Wednesday.
Full session, no problem. Coming Wednesday, I need to check my calendar. Yeah, but I'll be there. Morning 7 to 8, I'm there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a great weekend, everybody.